Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RAMBOMANIA, and welcome to episode 300. And wow, who knew we'd get this far? And I want to thank everyone out there, right now. You know who you are, for joining us down this long road. And, time is of the essence today. I must apologize for this seemingly short, sort of spoiler-esque review, but not really, because I don't really go into the depth that I usually do. But we'll be talking about, Rambo 2 for the next week or so. So, a lot with, Mickey Cardone and Wild Man Beyond. And so whatever we don't get to cover now, maybe we'll possibly cover then. And I want to wish a happy birthday to my brother Abby. Abs, I love you, babe. And this one's for you, my big brother. So there will be spoilers, sort of. Like I said, I'm going to be brief. Because everybody's seen this movie, It changed the world, quite literally. So if you haven't seen it, go out and see it. It's everywhere. You won't have to look hard. It's even on Netflix. And if you have no money, just call a friend. Call a friend over, because I'm sure somebody has one, or has a copy of this, or some version of this film or another. And it's a timeless classic. So with that, let's bring it on. Usually I would do this kind of review with a lot of insight, especially this one, because I've been waiting for this one forever, and I kind of feel cheap not doing that whole kind of thing with you guys. But we've really been talking about this movie, and I really have been giving a lot of my thoughts on it for the last couple of months, at least 5 months or so. And like I said, we're going to be covering it as well for the next week. So you'll learn some other tidbits and some trivia along the way. But today I'll just focus on a short version of the review, just because there's just so much to get covered by the deadline, so we can get to Rambo 3 finally. So like I said before, let's bring it on. If you don't want spoilers, feel free to skip to the next video. The next video is going to be cool, because we're going to actually be talking about the deleted scene, or sort of scenes, but mainly one deleted scene from the movie at hand. And you don't want to miss that out, because very few people from this generation have seen it. It would more kind of tend back to people growing up in the RAMBOMANIA times, the original phenomenon, that probably would have seen it. So, it's not on a DVD or anything, but, so if you don't want spoilers, just skip to that video. Because that almost extinct clip really just brought back memories, and brought me back to being a little kid again, and we'll get into that next. So, I could just talk about Rambo 2 forever, or Rambo First Blood Part 2 forever. But you've heard me talk forever about it for the last 5 months, and we still got a ways to go. We still got a lot to cover in a very small period of time. Hence why this is so short. So, and I really feel like I'm doing a disservice by not going into it in depth, because that's how I usually feel comfortable doing things. But I know we're going to be coming back to this in the future. And I know, especially when Brent Whiteside comes back on the show to talk with us, we're going to be talking about his theatrical experience. So maybe we could cover those angles that I'm used to covering when we get Brent Whiteside back to talk about his Rambo 2 theatrical experience of First Blood Part 2. Rambo First Blood Part 2. So I guess with that, let's let the games begin. It almost seems like blasphemy to do it this shorthand way. But, desperate times call for desperate measures. So, and I'm only saying this because, this is an important movie to me. This is an important review. So it just seems a little unorthodox to do it, really short like this. But, we each gotta try something new sometimes. So, not to mention I keep fucking this up trying to, every time I schedule to do this one, every time I try to do this one, I lost the photos, then I lost the new photos, and, just constant hard review to do. So, if we have to thumb through it, crash through it really fast, so be it. So I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get down to it, to brass tacks. Let's try to get her done, quick and clean, Rambo style. Which is another reason why, like I was saying, I love this movie before. Because it's straight through, you know. Like, we're in the element, bam, 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 bam. Straightforward action. You know, that's what it's all about. That's what made the 80s the kingpin of the action movie genre. And that's what made Rambo a household name. So, you know, get right to the point. So let's try getting right to the point. Sorry, I'm procrastinating. Okay, here we go. Because I've been waiting for this one a long time. Just sucks I have to do it so short. But, you know, c'est la vie. And here's the review. Now, I love that Coralco logo with the goldsmith, you know, Rambo theme. Every time I hear that in a movie, I just get amped up. And you always knew or know you're in for something good when you hear that and when you see that logo come up. So we're introduced to the movie through this gigantic, gargantuan TNT explosion. Amongst the dirty rubble and debris, Rambo's cracking up rocks via sledgehammer in this prison sort of place. And he's called over by Troutman, played by the brilliant Richard Crenna, who pays him a visit and gives him the choice pretty much to win this time. So, Rambo First Blood Part 2, through the fire and flame, and then Rambo, during the credits, the opening credits, is taxied via helicopter to a compound center where he meets Murdoch, played by the late, great Charles Napier. We learn more of Rambo's past, and he accepts, reluctantly, seemingly, you know, the mission at hand, back to the prison camp where he escaped from to supply proof of the existence of POWs left behind in the Vietnam War. So, sharpening the knife, we get the huge arm scene, and that must have looked awesome on the big screen. My only regret, never seeing this on the big screen. Followed by a brilliant suit-up montage. You know, they fly, you know, Rambo and Troutman have some concerned words, and they fly Rambo out to enemy lines. And Rambo jumps out of the plane, but he's hung up on the wing of the plane, cuts off all his equipment, you know, gets free, parachutes down, left with his knife and compound bow set only. So Rambo, you know, raids the jungles, strangles a snake, finds the Watt, meets up with indigenous contact Co. Bao, the delightful Julia Nixon, and they meet up with some pirates, set off downriver. They bond a bit on the boat with this beautiful Expendables scene, and they reach the camp via nightfall, and Rambo's lost his camera, so he decides to bring back proof, an actual POW. So, taking out some bad guys along the way, you know, they get that POW out of there, and at daybreak, the jig is up, and the VC army is on the hunt for the trio. So the trio gets back on the pirate boat, and the pirates betray them, and they take down the pirates, and, you know, approaching gunship shows up, and Rambo's almost killed after an ordeal, dispatching them with an RPG, and jumps to the water, and the boats collide, and swims to the shore. And then after he swims to the shore to meet, you know, Co and everything, and the POW, they are on the lam. Yes, Rambo is on the lam once again. Preferably my favorite time to see Rambo is when he's on the lam, because that's when he fucks a lot of shit up. So Rambo and Co split up, and it still has a romantic effect, you know, continuing on that brilliant, beautiful Expendables scene. And so it's about 24 hours later, and Troutman and company set out to pick up Rambo under fire at the recovery site. But when Murdoch learns, you know, Rambo's activity, Troutman at gunpoint is kind of helpless to leave Rambo behind. And John Jay and the POW are eventually captured. So, like, Rambo's tortured by Vin, and I forget his name in real life, but you've seen him in such classics as Fist of the North Star. You know, a polar opposite of his character here. And, you know, Rambo's unamused in that slime pit they put that his captors put him in, the horrible slime pit. We meet Burkoff's Podolsky and Yushin. I forget his name too, but as far as I know, he's just like the Cossack Yushin. Like that's just, you know, who he is. They torture him, cut leeches off him, you know, they bring him to the hut. And, you know, like, with Yushin, you know, it would be like, that's the best resume piece ever. Oh, who are you? And you solely known as Yushin from Rambo. You know, solely known. Anyway, so they bring him to the hut. They give him, you know, the lowdown on what's happening. Rambo doesn't want to cooperate, so they electrocute him on a mattress and then hot blade up his face. And eventually get their way with him when they threaten to torture his POW friend. And, you know, they cut him loose and to call his superiors, to radio call him. Rambo threatens Murdoch, then escapes with the aid of Ko, undercover as a prostitute. You know, and Rambo and Ko culminate promising a life after, you know, returning to America. But Vin has tracked them down, unfortunately, and guns down Ko. So Rambo kind of buries her and snaps. And, you know, let the hunt begin. It's beautiful. You know, Rambo dispatches the Russian VC allies with various traps and cunning. The mud scene is spectacular. It's just pretty fucking awesome stuff. The montage, well, you know, there's an amazing elephant grass trap and a wicked scene of Rambo taking out a convoy via, you know, C4 tipped arrows. And the montage ends with an awesome standoff between Rambo and Vin, and Rambo decimates him with his trademark C4 tipped arrow. It's pretty impressive for the times, and you know what? It still holds up today. And yeah, what I love about this movie is it's really straightforward. It's in and out. It's like First Blood. You know how like First Blood, after the first 10 minutes, you're solely into the movie? This movie is exactly the same. The first 10 minutes, you're totally absorbed back into that feeling. And, you know, you get to see Rambo do what he couldn't do in the first one. Knowing what I know now, maybe there was some missed opportunities here. But overall, I really regard this as the best action movie of all time. And not only that, but the leader of a whole new movement in cinematic viewing experience. You know, like, this one sets the way for everyone else to come. So, you know, Stallone actually made history with this movie. And this movie gets in a lot of trouble, you know, and it gets shit on a lot. But at the end of the day, no one can deny what force this movie had, the impact. Like the impact of this movie is truly phenomenal. It made history. It made the dictionary. You know, just go look it up if you don't believe me, because there was not a place you could be in the 80s where this movie wasn't in your face. You know, it really inspired a lot of people, a lot of juxtaposition. Anyway, so Yushin shows up via chopper, drops the napalm, and they go down to the water to investigate and locate a body. But Rambo's outsmarted them once again, attempts to hijack the Huey, takes out Yushin in an awesome aerial fight. You know, commandeers the chopper, flies back to the camp, blows the shit out of it, rescues the POWs, and during his flight back to the American outpost, has an awesome chopper versus chopper showdown with Podolsky, you know. And in his playing possum, Rambo is victorious. So they fly back to mission control. Rambo, you know, disassembles or dismounts the chopper M60 and blasts apart the command center. Then, almost stabbing Murdoch, you know, forces him to change his mind on his career decisions. And as a free man now, has some words with Troutman, and then walks off into the sequel. So next up, we're going to talk about Mike Chapman's submitted Fox television print of this movie. We're going to look at the deleted Halo jump scene, and Michael Chapman will be here with us to talk his new movie, The Hooligan Factory, out now. I want to say thanks again to everyone out there for helping us to reach this milestone episode and event. And, you know, RAMBOMANIA would be nothing without you. We would be nothing without you. You make all the difference. And thanks for watching.